What's up, everybody? Baragon Guy here, and today is a more serious note of a video. As you see by the title, yeah, you can see. I'm doing this unscripted, just kind of talking, because there's a lot I have on my mind. Um, People ask me a lot, like, make a Kaiju Universe video, Where's Kaiju Universe videos? I have one kept up of one of the owners threatening to ban me after I pointed out a team that was going on. And I played KU for over a year, around a year and a half on Godzilla Guy, the main channel. Streamed it, got level 1000 Megalon. When this video comes out, I will probably be saying goodbye to that because as you'll see, the KU community is very petty and childish. So I will most likely get banned from KU from this. And so just want to say, people who did stay along the journey, thank you. Level 1000 Megalon will always be one of the weirdest but kind of coolest achievements I have. But as we say, well, what am I saying? Anyway, let's just hop into it. I'm just gonna give you some reasons on why Kaiju Universe is hands down, between all my years of gaming and Kaiju gaming, the worst Kaiju game of all time. Now, don't take that sentence quite too literally. The game itself is okay. It's not moderated at all, as we'll get into it later. It's okay. But as you'll see, I'm also at the end going to be talking about why Kaiju Rising, oh god, is better than Kaiju Universe in pretty much every way fathomable. First up, let's get into the whole partnered creator thing with KU. Partner creators are pretty much held at gunpoint by Verret. They have very limited things they can do, and they're also very cocky. For example, Game by IG complained to Verret about people doing live streaming tournaments like me and FDA and trying to copyright them, as if tournaments haven't been around for thousands of years or anything. Partner creators are, we don't actually know, but most likely expected to make a certain amount of Kaiju videos every month or week, and can only make so many of other games before they most likely lose their partner creator role. One crazy thing that's going on currently is with Captain Cappy. So for those who don't know, originally FDA was just going to give Captain Cappy his password and login so he could just use his account to show it off, not grind since the souls are broken currently, because God forbid KU actually, do something in advance. And when they try to talk to Verret about that, they're pretty much told, no, you can't do that, because partner creators can't work with anyone or collab with anyone that isn't also a partner creator. So Verret pretty much saying, like, yeah, I control your channel, go cry. Which is very out of line for him. He is a, shitty little game developer, shouldn't be in charge of, people's careers, aka their YouTube channels. Which just kind of shows off one of the many things. This is the first point I have written down out of 15. So this is gonna be a long video. But yeah, pretty much partner creators are expected to do one thing only, and that is pump out, just boring, repetitive Kaiju videos. Also, partner creators, coming from someone who I work my ass off on Godzilla Guy, between, getting shorts on there, videos on there, and then also videos on here. It doesn't make sense to me how these partner creators, here's my impression of a partner creator. Ready? Here we go. That's it. Text on screen and some music in the background. That is it. And they think they have, the army of best content creators. It's just a lot of people just put text on screen. It doesn't make sense to me. Now on to the next thing, which I think is maybe one of the worst things here. In the PG Discord server, I believe it's Rule 12. I'll have a picture on screen. In the same rule, so the same importance to them, talking about another Kaiju game is just as big of a rule break as talking about terrorism. Now, I'm not going to go in depth on terrorism because I think you guys know, but just a quick summary. Terrorism takes thousands, if not tens of thousands, of lives a year. Actual people die from this. And they see that as the same importance as, talk about Kaiju Rising, that, when I read that out loud on Rule 12, I laughed. I thought that was a joke, but I reread it. It's no, it's real. It is legitimately the same importance to them. Terrorism, politics, and other Kaiju games. That is pathetic. Next up, Kaiju Universe always brags about how good their dev team is, right? Look at Kaiju Horizon. They released Shirno and Mecha in around the same week. I think it was 8 days apart around, right? Or maybe even less. I think it was 7, actually. So yeah, a week. You know how many Kaiju KU released last year? 9. 3 remodels. Kamadolph doesn't count. They just put trees on his back and a star and made him slightly smaller. Not that hard. They released 9 Kaiju. 9. In a year. While KA releases 2 in the span of a week. That along the fact that every time they come out, they have to be rebalanced. Because a rebalanced team doesn't exist. Or at least just doesn't do their job. Now, another big thing that I think KU is really bad at is keeping their promises. I have so many examples written down. Firstly, Manila EX. They had around a year and a half to see that FDA was grinding it to make attacks for them. FDA even gave them a heads up, like, hey, I'm going to be on this day. And what do? Nothing. They don't do anything. They are just now working on making its attacks. Some other examples is like Bio Remodel, the new Frozen Godzilla head and the Arctic thing last year, Super Mecha Godzilla, Gypsy Danger, Mecha King Ghidorah, and just so much more. Titanosaurus, the Emoji Kaiju, and just so much more. Anyone from KU watching, because I know you are, because you guys, watch anything that's negative about your entire game, just know your dev team, or at least some people in your server aren't trustworthy. The other day, I deleted it for for you guys, but the other day in my server in the spoiler chat, people were talking about all the upcoming updates. And there was a dude on TikTok, I talked to Kaiju Ghidorah about this, there was a dude on TikTok leaking all of your upcoming updates, every single one. I'm not going to say anything because even though you guys screwed me over for a year and a half, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm just going to go over the pure facts about, the wrongness about your game and Discord server. Next up is a more personal one, at least for me. It's the disrespect from Vera and the just moderation staff in the Discord server. As most of you guys know, me and FDA stream, Kaiju games all the time. What do we get from it? Me and FDA, guess. Nothing. We asked multiple times, just, hey, would it be possible to get a role, right, that just says Kaiju Universe Streamer? That's all we asked. Doesn't give us any special thing. Just lets people know, hey, we spend hours and hours a day streaming your game. Can we get something? Nothing. Now, normally I wouldn't bring that up, right? Because it's that's just kind of a personal, petty one. But the thing is, the first stream of mine, the literal first stream, I was fully done with KU and streamed KA for the first time. Somebody asked me, what's wrong with KU? I told them the terrorism thing earlier. And guess who hits me up? Verit. He asked, hey, I don't like that you're spreading misinformation. It's I'm not. Look at your own rules, because apparently you don't read them. So the literal first stream that I'm not streaming KU, after asking and asking, I get hit up by Verit, hey, I don't like what he's saying. And he also hit up FDA. I can try and get those screenshots on screen too. How he's well, now he's going to lose pretty much any chance of being a partnered creator. It's I would rather die than be a partnered creator where all my words have to be accepted by you. Being a partner creator seems like hell. Any partner creators watching, I am sorry for you guys. Hit me up if you want to and just let me know privately if anything I'm saying is correct. Now, one big thing that I find hilarious is that PG is getting rid of some people's constitutional rights. The First Amendment has your main freedoms. One of them being, of course, the freedom of speech. You know what KU did? They went from server to server on Discord, not their own, but literal hundreds of servers, Kaiju servers, gaming servers. They went from server to server and found people who talked bad about their game and permanently banned them for having an opinion. Next one is pretty simple and easy. Let's put the screenshots on screen. Racist, sexist, and homophobic devs. You can read it yourself, but just know that's the head team right there. Those are the main guys that produce KU. Right there. So, just food for thought. Another big issue with KU is just the pure laziness on their part. For example, I'm not sure if I was supposed to share this. I don't think it was really that private. I wouldn't be sharing it if I thought it was entirely private. But Godzilla -1 in KU, nothing like he does on film. And that's what I thought at first. And when I asked around, none of the dev team had seen -1 before the Kaiju came out. No, none of them. So they literally just look at the trailer and yeah, we got this. And I mean, as you guys saw in the trailer, it was clearly rushed. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want KU to get mad at him, but there's one KU YouTuber who I'm good friends with, thank you. He has said 2 things that are the most true things I've ever heard about KU. One, that KU has Disney syndrome, where they think they're too large to fail. And 2, how KU is more focused on beating the competition than actually making a quality game. The last update I played in KU that I thought was actually, a good update, fairly balanced and a good model and good everything, was Ibera. That's it. That's the only one. And I'm not going to say which updates they are, but there are 2 things they're updating in KU in the near future, I assume, just because of how good KA is at it. Proving the point that they only do it to beat competition. Next up is their pretty much non-existent mod staff. If you guys have ever played KU and you see the mass amount of teamers all the time, and you try to report it to a mod, guess what they'll do? Nothing. They never care, ever. Actually, I take that back. The one time they cared is when I called them out for how lazy they were. You know what happened to me? I got timed out for a week. So clearly they're active, they just don't care what you think. Next up, back to the laziness point, they've had so many bugs over the entire 2023 as a year. As you saw in my Shirna Alpha video, the roar was bugged. Not only was it bugged, but it wasn't even synced with the animation. It's not just him. Megalon had that issue, and so many other kaiju. You know how many they fixed, to my knowledge? None. Literally none. Next up is one thing that one of the developers said. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want him to get in trouble because, you know, sadly making KU is his job. But one of the lead developers themselves said this. The devs are mostly chill, but the majority of the dev team think they are the best. And Verret sees himself as the best and unbeatable. And one final point to KU's pettiness is just what they'll announce to their server. KU could fix 1 or 2 bugs, and in the process cause like 30 new ones. How will they announce it? They'll at everyone in their server. They'll put it in their update logs in the game. Now let's look at KA and see what they do in comparison. KA added trees, reformed the entire mountain and a lot of the more mountainy area of the entire map, added power lines going across the map, and as you guys saw a minute ago, they added an entire new city. You know how they announced all that? They didn't. No at everybody, no update log. They just did it because Kaiju Rising is just better. There are certain things from a Kaiju game that are expected. And when those expected things are made, you shouldn't be proud of yourself as a developer because it's just expected. The fans put trust into you to have the bare minimum in a game. What does Kaiju Rising do? They do exactly that. They get everything that needs to be in game that is expected from a giant monster game, and they don't announce it because it's so simple for them. It's not difficult. Now, enough of the yapping. Let's get into why Kaiju Rising is just better, factually. Firstly, look model to model. I'll have Shinagawa from KA and Shinagawa from KU on the sides. I mean, you can notice the difference in quality. Let's do the same thing with Shirna Alpha. Let's do the same thing with Mechagodzilla. Let's do it with Ultima. Secondly, they're more creative by a lot. KU just has shitty little recolors, where they just select random parts of the body to make different colors. While KA has actual reskins that change the entire look of your kaiju. KA's cities are actually unique. I'll make my way up to the big buildings and show it off in a minute. But the lights that are on in the buildings aren't patterns. They are, like, manually selected. The buildings actually have details and are tall, small, wide, short. There's variety. And this game is somehow able to make me feel massive, like with all these trees and mountains around me, but at the same time make me feel minuscule in the scale of a city. I mean, just look at the attention of detail on this one building alone. Also, KA just releases more often and more quality. As we said at, like, the beginning of the video, KU released 9 kaiju in 1 year. That's over a month of time in between each Kaiju update. While Kaiju Horizon added 2 in the span of a week. Kaiju Horizon also actually listens to feedback. They don't just see their fans as numbers. They listen to the ideas. And they also listen to the content creator suggestions. And the owner, Kiki. Big shout out to you, man. Even though you have the stress of a Kaiju game on your back, you are by far more polite than anyone from the KU team. Literally anyone. Kiki is there to goof off in streams, whether that's making me the size of Mount Fuji or a walnut. Anyway, back to where we started. So just know I will most likely never make a video on Kaiju Universe. I did that for a year and a half, Jesus Christ. And after being mistreated and disrespected for over a year, I have no interest in promoting that game again. Besides this one video, this will be the last time Kaiju Universe really has anything to do with any of my videos. To KU, I wish you the best of luck, as your insecure owner can't handle the fact that other Kaiju games exist. I hope you all have fun just being racist and homophobic to each other. Next week, I will have an actual showcase, but I thought this was pretty important, so I wanted to get it uploaded. As always, everybody, Baragon Guy signing out. Lemon peels.